Hey guys, and this is Jessica, and someone requested me to do a video on what I thought about the Halloween series in general. Now, the best way I can do this is we all know what happened. I mean, especially if you're a fan, we all know what happened. It went from great to slowly dwindling down because the story, being so simple, can only be stretched as far. It's kind of like a rubber band. It kind of has to break at some point or become strained. Now, this is not a review by any means of any of these movies. I'm just going to tell you what happened. Halloween. We have John Carpenter who takes ideas from Peeping Tom, which is a foreign film, and Black Christmas, and he creates Halloween, right? And this is when, honestly, the slasher genre begins. And it's great because it's simple and it's creepy, and just the way that he shot it, and he just literally created a monster that had no rhyme or reason to do anything that he was doing, which made it completely and totally creepy. That this man, this thing, not even a man, this force of evil, this judgment, almost like a Terminator, will just execute you for no reason. And even though it's slight, and not a lot of people realize in this film that he plays with his victims, sets it up so Laurie finds all her friends, and you see for some reason, Annie's character is all laid out, as underneath the tombstone of his sister. Again, for some reason, and then for some reason, you never see his parents again. Now, this was great, and especially the ending. The ending is what got me as a kid. Honestly, the ending. Not the shooting, not the fact that he fell off the thing, doing a matrix off the balcony. It always reminds me of the Matrix because I feel like he kind of like walked off, not like he tripped off, but kind of like he walked off. And the fact that they do the music and they do a little audio of his breathing, and they show everywhere, all the places. Where is he? Where can he be? He's nowhere. He literally it made you feel like he's everyone and everywhere. Now, that was great. And then comes this is when the series starts to notch off just a bit. So now we have Halloween 2. You have everybody that made the movie great in it. Jamie Lee Curtis and Donald Pleasant. Not really anybody, but everybody. But here we are. Problem with this, I feel, was that for some for some really weird reason, I felt like they started really now creating the rules of a horror movie. That there had to be a death at every certain. Not that they created it, but it felt like a necessity. That they had to start off with some sort of death, and it happens to be this nobody, and it's really creepy and really weird the fact that he's gonna kill her for no reason, even though obviously he must be after Lori. Uh, then he walks, and Donald Pleasance is on this, little hunt, and he passes all these people, and you're wondering, wow, if he had such a motivation to kill just Lori, why would he just kill that bitch for no reason at all? Is he pissed? Is he angry? Okay. And then we get stuck in the hospital. We get stuck in this hospital. And for some reason, no one's there. And he's killing off the few people that are there. Now, I have no problem with it taking place partially in the hospital, but it made me feel like they were really, really, really trying, what do you call that, to find a place where they could isolate Lori and Donald Pleasance. But I didn't like it. I didn't like the fact that I was only in the hospital. It created for some creepy shots, especially with the security cam and everything. But they show babies and what he do. They eat them like you don't hear them again, and I don't know. I didn't like it because simply it was just a hospital. I didn't feel, I don't know. And then half the time, Lori's not even realizing that he's after her. It's only at the end there's some sort of chase. I don't know. I just don't know why I don't like this movie that much. It just never really appealed to me. The fact that he's just there in the hospital. Now you can counter this and say, well, he's just there in a town. But there seemed to be, I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I don't know. I mean, he was playfulness, in the way he left people for people to find and stuff. I don't know. But I just didn't like it. I wanted to see more of him just roaming around, and I don't know. I don't know why. I just don't like it as much. So after that, we have the horrendous thing that is Halloween 3, and this is when they decide, okay, there's absolutely nothing we can do with this story. We burned him and Donald Pleasance. Obviously, they must be dead. Let's create sort of, uh, use the name and start off some sort of other situation or whatever. And if you see my review on this failed miserably because it was literally like false advertisement. Because you put Halloween 3 on it. Halloween 3. What do you expect to see? Michael Myers. No matter, and it's false advertising within the movie because the style is completely Halloween sort of style. And it's just poor writing and whatever. I mean, I feel like the writers, the writing for Halloween, the fact that it always stayed so simple, I feel like they were afraid to become overly complex, you know? And figuring that, hey, we already created a mystique for this character, we're afraid to fuck it up. But that doesn't mean you can't give your characters some depth and make me care about them more. Because honestly, in Halloween 2, that was the main character. That was the main problem. I did not care about Laurie. I didn't. I really want. I feel like at that point I was striving for some character development for her. I mean, I can understand why there's not much here. Maybe the fact that she's innocent and stuff like that. Yeah, sure. But here, I needed just a little bit more, and it did not deliver. And here, you have characters making decisions just cause. That's what should happen in a horror movie. All right. So I'd like to call these three movies classic Halloween. I know you're probably saying to me right now, what do you mean Halloween 3 is not classic Halloween? There's no Michael. But the style to me is classic Halloween. And I'm going to start with Halloween 4, and then I'm going to cut it off and do another one because obviously I need to go through all of them. Halloween 4 is what starts this more old style, more rural sort of Halloween to me because of it just felt different. It's not the classic style, and we have a totally different character, and her name is Jamie Lloyd. And by some sort of imagination, Laurie has had a child, and this is what starts the weird-looking Michael, the overly white mask, eyebrow, prominent Michael. And to me, it really does start that rule. It doesn't feel like Haddonfield. It really doesn't. It never does for these movies. It never does. After that, but the feels are consistent through these sort of movies. So I guess, yeah. I'm coming down to it, so I'll finish off the rest of them and my thoughts on Halloween 4 at the next part of it. I know this is my overview on the series. I'm planning on reviewing most of them around Halloween time, but this is my overview, and we're gonna start again with Halloween 4. So stay tuned for part 2, and yeah, all that good stuff. Subscribe, rate, and comment.